Hey everybody on YouTube, this is me, the Student Witch. As you can see, my hair is wet because I just got out of the shower. I'm in my pajamas because I'm taking the day off. I usually have class at noon, but I just can't. This morning I did my usual tarot card of the day from my grandmother's deck, and this is the card that I pulled up. And this is telling me if you need to seek sanctuary, do it. Take care of yourself, take a break. And I'm taking a break because last night, it was just so powerful. I know I uploaded a video this morning just showing some of the things I did last night, but I figured it deserved a more in-depth explanation or exploration, I guess. Because this past few weeks, I've been feeling kind of shitty, just very dark, almost depressed. And I was born on the winter solstice, under a new moon, so like the dark side of myself, that shadow side, has always been very prominent, and sometimes it can kind of overtake the light side. And I think this moon, I'm not blaming the moon or anything, but I think it brought that darker side out the past few weeks. Plus, last week up until yesterday, I was on my period, and it lasted 8 days, which is not normal. It usually only lasts 5 or 6 days. And by the way, for anyone grossed out about me talking about my period, fuck you. You know, we are all here on this earth because our mothers had their periods, and it's a very sacred part of my life, and I don't think it's inappropriate to talk about. So that was weird. So my period lasting 8 days, forever. And it ended yesterday. And me just feeling, being in that dark place, which isn't essentially bad, but it can become bad if it's not in balance with the light, you know? And last night, because it was a lunar eclipse, just encapsulated that balance that I need to find between the light and the dark. Because we have the moon, the full moon, illuminated by the sun, and then cast into the shadow of the earth, the darkness of the feminine energy, the emotions, the primal energy. And so my emotions were coming from the past few weeks, that dark place, which is good. I think I needed to go there. But now I'm starting to recover and kind of go back towards a more balance. Balance would be the best word I can find to describe the major theme for last night. So that's why I'm taking the day off. Also, I woke up feeling nauseous. I have some peppermint chamomile tea brewing. So I'm seeking sanctuary and taking care of myself today. So last night was incredible. A lot of the magical things that happen to me are not voluntary. Like the astral projection experience I've had before that I've talked about in previous videos. I was not meditating or practicing astral projection, it happened. Or even the spirit animals that I've seen in the past, they just appear to me. So last night was something kind of along those lines. I had my plate of dried apples and oranges and lemons that I prepared last weekend, because I made this whole past week. Last week I made the whole week dedicated to the equinox. Um, so I had apples and oranges, and I took them outside and I put them on the tree stump next to the creek where I make my offerings. I lit some Palo Santo. I dedicated some Palo Santo to the creek. I dedicated some to the moon. And I was fortunate enough to have a very clear, direct view of the eclipse. And it was just incredible. I was out there at around 9:30 the first time I went outside, and I saw the moon right when the shadow of the earth was about to complete the eclipse. So there was just like a sliver of light from the moon. So I saw the eclipse happening, and I don't know, it became a ceremony of dedication, me dedicating myself to my craft, which was not my intention at all, but it was like the eclipsing moon said, bitch, this is what you need to do tonight, so this is what you're gonna fucking do. Whether you're planning it or not, this is what we're doing, get ready. So I have my dedication written in my grimoire, and I have it memorized. I say it to myself, or I dedicate it to my altar upstairs almost every day, and it just burst out of me, you know, and a deeper understanding of what it meant came out of me. And I'm not going to share that with you guys, but the very last line of the dedication is, they're vacuuming the hallway outside, sorry about the noise. The very last line is, I accept this responsibility. And being a witch or magical practitioner, pagan, it's a great responsibility, because we understand that we are co-creative forces with the universe. And I am now exploring with the title of pantheistic pagan. Pantheism, as in everything is sacred, including myself, including this ball of yarn, the trees, man-made buildings. Everything is sacred, everything is part of a universal consciousness. I'm exploring adopting that title because it's the closest thing I've found that describes what I feel and what I believe. So being that pantheistic pagan and a witch, and being a co-creative force with the universal consciousness, divine masculine and feminine, and understanding the great responsibility that entails, how I have to accept the consequences of every action, whether the consequences are good or bad, whether I predicted them or not. It was a growing moment for me. And that involuntary aspect of my practice, how things just kind of come to me or happen to me, it happened last night not only with the formal dedication that I made, which I was not planning on doing. It happened with an almost quasi-psychedelic experience I had. I don't know if any of you have experimented with mind-altering substances or psychedelic substances, but I have, and I own it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's been years, but I have taken LSD and I have taken mushrooms, and they were powerful, very spiritual experiences for me. Just a couple times in college. When I started like owning myself and opening myself to the universe. Well, last night I didn't take anything, but when I looked up and I saw the eclipse in process, it was just that feeling that it's coming on, the trip is coming, came to me, and all of a sudden I just felt like I was a tree planted in the ground. And I would look up at the trees around me, and I just felt this like zooming in towards the moon. And I felt all four of the elements in different parts of my body. My feet were the earth, and I felt like there were roots of a tree going down deep into the earth, but also going up my legs, like planting me firmly in the earth. Then the area around the first chakra, the root chakra, right, the womb. If you're a cisgendered woman like I am, you know, I was born with a uterus. And the womb, of course, is a symbol of the hearth. You know, the womb and the hearth, they go together really well. That idea of the fire of life, the fire of sustainability, to sustain life and feed it and create it. So I felt fire there. In my heart, I felt water, because water, I connect with the idea of emotions. And then the intellect, air. I felt and visualized all four of those elements within me. And it was very powerful. And I also saw spirits last night. I have mentioned before, I think, that if I had a totem animal, it would be a deer. White-tailed deer, a doe. And I saw a glimpse of one in spirit form last night by the creek. And now, I have to admit, when I first started with paganism, and witchcraft, I thought the whole fairy thing was just a bunch of bullshit. Because I had that like Fern Gully, you know, image of what a fairy is. Like these little winged creature people dancing and singing in the forest, you know, a very childish kind of image of a fairy. But the more I'm getting into pantheism, and the more understanding I have that we live in an animate universe, everything is animated by spirit. I do think the creek itself has a spirit. Every tree has a spirit, and the land has spirits. And in the past, as a child and even as an adult, those spirits revealed themselves to me in the form of animals. So I saw a deer last night. And that is, I guess, my spirit animal. Even though I don't really feel comfortable with the term totem or spirit animal, because I know it has connotations with Native American cultures. And I know a lot of non-Native American people in the New World like to borrow from those cultures, and they don't do it respectfully. Colonialism is a bitch. And so I am a white person. I'm a New World white person, right? I'm a product of colonialism. And my ancestors were the ones who killed and displaced Native populations. It's the truth. So I don't really feel comfortable with like the spirit animal Pocahontas thing, you know. Disney Pocahontas I'm talking about. But I do have a connection with deer that I cannot deny. Whether I was a deer in a past life or a hunter, because I also have a really good talent for tracking deer and following their trails in the woods. So anyway, it's really nice to see that at least last night there's a spirit of a deer. There's a deer energy around this creek, and that deer energy is my Patronus or whatever. For all you Harry Potter fans out there. But anyway, so it was a psychedelic experience. It was a rooting experience. It was an upheaval kind of experience too, because my original plans were just to leave offerings and honor the moon and ask the moon for help for a few things that are going on in my life and in my family right now. And it was that, but it also turned into this very powerful dedication kind of experience. Like last night with the eclipse, it was a bifurcation point in my life. Like, I've been formally claiming to be a witch and practicing paganism and witchcraft for about a year. And maybe Wiccans are up to something with that whole year and a day thing, but hold on, my Pandora is talking. Okay. But that whole year and a day thing, so I've been practicing formally and calling myself a witch, even though I've known I've had this within me my whole life. But I've been practicing it and claiming it formally for a year. It's as if the moon, because it was so fucking powerful yesterday, as a full moon, as a harvest moon, and as an eclipse, it was a bifurcation point saying, this is it. From now on, this is part of you. Own it. Be it. Live it. Practice it. Which is kind of scary. Just like, it's kind of like getting married. You know, you are promising to dedicate the rest of your life to this person. So I'm promising to dedicate the rest of my life to this practice in some shape or form. It can change, and it will as time goes on. But it felt carnal. It made it real for me last night. And it also opened me up a lot. I've been very emotional the past few days, like just breaking down into tears. And like whenever I feel myself opening, just like whenever you feel the trip coming, I feel it in my head first here. And I've been feeling kind of like spacey and disoriented all day. Another reason why I'm in my pajamas and I'm taking the day off. Yeah, it was a bifurcation point. There's no going back. I have formally dedicated myself to the universe as a co-creative partnership with the universe, and to my craft and to this spirituality. I still have a lot of room for improvement. I still need to learn a lot. But, yeah, balancing the light and the dark and finding power in that balance. It was awesome. It was awesome. There's no going back. So, yeah, I'm at 18 minutes, so I guess I should stop. But I just thought that last night's experience deserved more of an explanation from me. And I needed to share it with you guys because you're part of this journey that I'm on. Yeah. Just, even though I'm trying to put the experience into words, it's kind of impossible. But I'm going to do some journaling throughout the day too. Yeah, it was beautiful. And last night, I went out and had the experience of the moon. I came back in, I did some workings inside, and then I went back out to finish the ritual. And then I went to bed. And last night, I dreamt about swimming with dolphins. And, yeah, I'm really attracted to fire, but I see fire and water as part of this duality, you know? And so I have this tattoo. This tattoo is also a symbol of me dedicating myself to my practice. You know, the sacred masculine, feminine, and then the synthesis of this duality that's in everything, and also the origin point, because this duality came from somewhere, right? Like, so this flame, this is the witch flame that's within me. But I also, on this side, next year, when I have money, I plan on getting the water side here. Because those are the two elements I find myself being most attracted to. So last night, dreaming of dolphins, after all these visualizations and feelings of the fire within me during the experience, last night I dreamt of swimming with dolphins of all sizes and kinds. It was part of the ritual, part of the experience. So anyway, I'm gonna drink my tea and try to eat my breakfast, because now my stomach isn't feeling so nauseous and now my head feels a little clearer. And I'm going to start bringing some balance and some depth to my practice that I didn't have before. So I hope everybody had an awesome new moon. Share your experiences. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys did, what you got out of it, what the moon taught you. And keep doing your witchy things. Okay, bye.